wanted to say these things for years, for so many years. But in my house in Dean Court, if I speak, I get beaten. If I speak, I get disciplined, and my whole life is set further back than before. I'm recovering from beatings, and then I'm getting beaten again for even speaking. And these are things that I've wanted to say for years. And half the things that we've said now are only things that we were able to say once we like turned the age of 16 and once we became adults. Because all of the measure and the petri don't listen. They don't listen until they see the consequences. When they see the consequences, that's when they start being sheepish and start putting their hands behind their back and be going because they don't listen. They don't listen to us, and it's that we can see the consequences right in front of us, and then they still don't hear. Only when things have turned wrong, that's when they want to listen and want to hear. Autism, let me tell you, Titi's autism stunk for a long time. Titi stunk for a long time. And she wasn't taken out to Nigeria. She wasn't. I said years ago, Titi should have been the one taken to Nigeria, not myself. I said it years ago and I was right. Titi is autistic and she needs a country like Nigeria to help govern and aid her mind. And Thomas is not going to get the information of Nigeria from being in England. Thomas is a boy and a man. That's why he was there, and that's why he should have been there even before me. But at least Thomas was able to go. At least Thomas was able to go. Titi has never been to Nigeria, and she should have been gone to Nigeria with Peju, not myself. Oh, we both should have gone because Titi was wicked and cruel and autistic and doesn't know how to use her mind or her sense or her natural senses to get things. Titi doesn't like boys. Titi doesn't like her own sisters, her own friends. Titi doesn't like walking around with other people and being with other people and speaking with other people. Titi doesn't like anything. Anything normal and natural, Titi didn't like. Titi had to be forced to like things and enjoy things. Titi has to watch TV and screens and American television before she likes something and sees that something is good and something is nice. Titi didn't even like Nigeria until she went to CTK and started talking about, oh, everybody is Nigerian and it's really cool. Titi didn't like anything. Titi didn't like Baptist church when we first were young. Titi didn't like anything until afterwards. That's when she sees the consequences and she's like, oh yeah, okay. Now I like it. Autism is a very, very dangerous disease because I'm convinced Granny had it, Pedro definitely has it, Titi definitely has it, and Thomas now has it. Thomas has it. Thomas showed signs of it when he was younger because he was a wanderer and he spent too much time in front of the screen and not enough time with his father and with his both his parents, especially with his father. That's why Thomas was autistic and that's why Thomas was a wanderer and spending time playing PlayStations and games and not being a man, being some skinny, scrawny boy and eating jam sandwiches instead of eating proper food. And I was saying it from the beginning, this is going to turn out a nightmare. This is going to be a nightmare. Autism is dangerous. It's a very dangerous thing. And the problem with autism is that it's very slow. It works very slowly. If it's not in the right environment, if it's not in the right condition, if it's around other autism and other reminders of abuse and trauma, autism, if there's no new information coming into the house, like new things, new pictures, new experience, new photos, conversations that need to be had out, no crying, no tears, no sweat, no exercise. If there's none of these things happening, autism will just take up the whole building. And it can't be, I'm here in Manchester and it's been almost 18 months that I've been here and I'm doing everything on my own. And it's only now things are working out slowly. I've had working out itself slowly. Working out itself slowly. This is why people come in. Counselors, therapists, experts. This is why people leave their houses and they go other places. They go to different locations. Environment is like the biggest change for the mind. The biggest change for the mind is the environment. Reminding people what things are and why it's there. What is a bed for? A bed is for people, for sleeping, for thinking. Okay, how old are you? The bed should be for a relationship. It's for relations. It's for friendships. So when friends come around, they talk, they speak, they spend time in the bed, they talk. They make the house a home. This is why people like Peju need to be reminded what a home is for. And Titilayo needs to be reminded what a bed is for. A bed is not for you and just for you and your back. And you're sleeping next to a screen and you're on the sofa in the living room sleeping next to a laptop. You need to be reminded what a home is for and what a house means. What a house means, what a home means. Same thing for Pedro. The house is not for you to be a concubine and an imbecile. What is a kitchen for? What is the definition of a kitchen? What is the definition of a bathroom? What is the definition of a bedroom? What is the definition of friends, acquaintances, telephone, events, birthdays, get-togethers, family discussions, interventions, uncles? What is the definition of these things? Now, all of the memories, all of the photos of your children, the baby pictures and the child pictures and the teenage pictures and those holidays, what are the definitions of these things? What is the purpose and the meaning of these things? It's not for you to run around and spend time on your phone watching Netflix or spend time on your YouTube listening to all kinds of information that isn't coherent, that isn't even cohesive. Look at Barry, your neighbor, and look at what he's doing. Look around you and look at the successful families around you and see why they have it going on. Why is it only you? You shouldn't even be going to Nigeria on your own, building your own house. You should be taking one of your children. You haven't even told your children the street of the house that you're building a house. This is what I'm talking about. There is no blood in this family. There's no blood. You have to tell a family how to speak. You have to tell two sisters how to speak. You have to tell you have to tell your brother how to speak to your sister. You have to speak. They don't commune. They don't communicate. These things are natural. As soon as you open your mouth, things will spill out your mouth. As soon as you speak to your friend, your best friend, your close friend, anybody, things will spill out of your mouth, even by accident. By accident. This family is like a mute. They don't even commune. The most basic thing to commune, even the most basic arguments and fights, they don't have. And this is how they end up like mutes, like autistic mutes, autistic dormites, dormant, and autism stinking from the floor all the way up past the roof. I've had Zainab in that house. I've had Penny in that house. I've had a guy called TK in that house. I've had John in that house. And I had to fight to get them in that house. I had to wait until Pedro had left to bring people in the house because that house was empty and didn't have a single guest, a single visitor in the house for 18 years. Thomas has never brought a person home in that house. Thomas has never brought a friend home. He's never even brought a girl home. The same thing can be said for Titilayo. Titilayo has never brought a friend or a guy in that house. And I had to fight for that room to be sane. I painted that room white. I made that room look somewhat acceptable for me to be in. And my mind was out, even with what I was doing, my mind was going aloof, forgetting. I was meant to have bought a car in 2014. Walking around that area, that place, and Pedro were making me sick. Every time I look in Pedro's face, it's like I'm looking at the face of somebody who is deranged and sick and getting sick by being associated with her and living with her and sleeping in that house. Thomas was getting sick in that house. Thomas is sick. And I was he was in the next room sleeping. This is what I mean about the danger of being around people who are sick. Because people who are sick, you're attracted to things that are sick, all